So this part of the training, we're going to talk about the basics of the Google Plus Hangout window. And just to get started, we'll look here in the upper right where it says Start a Hangout. I'll click on that. That opens up a window. Let me shrink it down so we can get to a smaller size. It's more manageable to record. And what we've got here is a Start a Hangout interface. On the left, you can see it there. We could, if we want to, give it a name. In fact, I'm going to. We'll call it Hangout Basics. And I do not want this to be Hangout on Air, just a regular old Hangout, so I will not check that box and simply click Hangout. And because I'm not inviting anyone else, it's just going to be me inside for training purposes. So we'll click Hangout, and what we get to is this. It says your name and what you've done. You've set the title to be Hangout Basics. I'm going to close this window for now because I want to be able to come back to it. That, by the way, is normally open when you first join, but I turned it off on purpose, so we'll come back to it later. So now, we've got our title on the far left, and just to the left of that we have a long list of items. These are called Hangout apps. To the right portion we have some other icons, and these are the standards that we're going to take a look at in this particular training. So let's look at the left side first, then we'll look at the right. So we've got on the very top 3 lines that says Expand Apps. So if I click on that, it's going to go to larger so I can actually see the names of each of these apps that are there. They're extra tools to help you run your Hangout efficiently. I will leave that open for right now. And the top ones, this expanding or collapsing, this invite, chat, or screen share, these are the standards that you're going to see in all Hangouts. Some of the extras or goodies that I might add that you may or may not have on your Hangout, but you can add them later. Let's shift our attention over here to the right side now. You'll note here when I'm talking, there's a volume indicator. This is giving us some indication as to whether we're too loud or not loud enough. The green should be fine. Yellow is a little bit of a warning. Red means you're talking too loud. I've noticed this to be not accurate. In other words, I don't think I'm talking too loud, but it's showing me that I am. So it's just sort of an indicator to let you know that you're speaking. Plus, if you'll note here, your thumbnail just below it has a green bar. That green bar is very important because it gives you some indication whether somebody's talking or not. So when you have multiple people in a Hangout, you can tell who's doing the talking or where the noise is coming from by looking below their thumbnail. Normally this thumbnail is down at the bottom, but for the sake of making it easy to see, I have moved things up to the top using a special Hangout extension. But we can talk about that another time. To the right of it, we have this thing called a mute microphone. If I click on it, like I'm going to do right now, it mutes. And you'll note there's a little icon here. Click on it again, and I can unmute myself. It's muting my volume, my audio, from the rest of the Hangout. So if I need to take another call, or I need to answer something with my assistant, I can simply click mute. That way no one else in the Hangout hears what I'm saying. That's audio. The one to the right of it, this will turn the camera off. So if I click on that, you'll see that instead of seeing my video, you will see my avatar, or potentially a blank screen. So these items, when they're on, are going to be bright red. When they're off, click on it again, they will be gray. So we can mute our audio, we can mute our video. To the right of that, we have a thing called settings. If I click on it, it opens us up to some other areas that we can come in and adjust our settings. But for now, we're going to cancel any changes there and look at the last one, which I'm not going to click right now, but if I did, it would exit or leave the Hangout. It would close this Hangout window and we'd be gone. We could go back and join in again relatively easily, but just realize clicking on the Hang Up button will actually close the Hangout. So back to the left side again. We saw again we can collapse or enlarge. I collapse them to give me a more viewable space that's in the video area, but you can keep them open. It's your choice. Inviting people, let's click on that for a second. This allows us to look through a list of people that it suggests that we might want to invite, or we can simply go here to where it says type in names, and we can type in the name of a person and let that particular address show up. Or if we have made circles that we want to invite to a certain Hangout session, we can do that as well. But for right now, I'm doing practicing, so I'm going to simply click close or Hangout, and it'll come back so that we're here. The most important part in my mind on the left is called chat. Now, right now, there's no one else in Hangout except me, and this is a great thing to do, and by the way, is practice by yourself, so you can get an idea, a feel for how the tools work. So if I'm in the chat, I'm not going to chat with myself, but I want to show you how it works. But generally, when we're in a Hangout with multiple people, there's going to be chat going on along with the Hangout visuals. Chat is text. So let's click on this and look what happens. It opens up on the right side a thing called group chat, and on the bottom of it, this is where we can type text. So I will start typing, and then I'm going to hit enter. And what it does is, you'll see here, it puts your text right on the top. Next to it shows your avatar or your profile, which is one reason why I suggest we make sure that you change from a blue head to something that's specifically you. It'll say your name to someone else, but for yourself it says the word me. And you'll see a long list of people chatting, and it'll scroll, and you can, if you like, add in these little emoticons. If you're not sure, you thought something was, you're not quite positive, basically there's different ways you can put expressions in there, things like that. This chat will be visible the entire time of the Hangout, unless in the upper right you click the X, or you click on the left and click on the name chat. Then it will close it. Now it tells us who in the Hangout is currently using chat. In this case, me, Ronnie. If you did not have this open and someone had put a chat message in, there would be a little red number 1 or 2 or 3 if there's 3 conversations going on that you didn't see. That's an encouragement for you to click on the chat button again so that you can see the ongoing conversation. And then here, screen share. Let's click that for a second. Actually, I'm going to close the chat to give us a bigger window here in the middle. Then I click screen share. This allows us to find parts on our computer and share them. So I could share my desktop, I can share this Hangout window itself, which gets a little bit funky, or I can share, for example, my Google Plus interface, which I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to click on that. Then on the bottom, I click Share Selected Window. And you'll see here, this is what shows up. My window is now visible to everybody in the Hangout instead of my face. So there's times when I want to show a document, and this is a great way to do that. It's called share or screen share. I'm going to turn that off, and it will automatically come back to me. And one last part about this Hangout interface is, if you blue box, that means clicking on an image of a video, that particular image will come to the large or main window. And it will stay that way. No matter how many other people join in, you can continue to look at your own screen, see what you look like if you like, if you blue box yourself. If I blue box a different person by clicking on them, then they will be stuck, or sometimes it's called sticky clicking to make sure that they stay. I call it blue boxing. It's a toggle, turn it on, turn it off. That's how you focus what you are seeing inside the main window. And just as another little tip, on the left where it says invite people, you've also got a little thing down on the bottom that says invite people. So let's do that. Let's send out an invitation and get somebody to join into our Hangout. So I'm going to click down here where it says invite people. That again brings us back to our invitation place, and then I'm going to type in the name of a person I want to invite. All right, their address chip is here. And then I'm going to click Hangout, and that sends them an invitation. It says you have invited people into the Hangout. So we'll wait just a moment. Hopefully they are around waiting and ready for the invitation, and then they will be joining in. And instead of seeing just one icon here, you should see 2 in what's called the film strip. And looks like here she comes. All right, so there she is. Hi.
Hi.
Glad to see you here in our conversation. Can you see underneath my little video the little green thing moving when I'm talking?
I do.
Yeah, and
Yep.
when you talk, I can see the little green thing moving on yours as well.
Great.
All right, well, that's all I needed for now. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, and so she just left. So that was the basics of the Hangout window. And last but not least, we need to be able to exit. So we've got a couple ways to do it. In the upper right corner, we can click on this hang up icon that says exit, or in the upper left corner, we've got, if you're on a Mac or on a PC, you should have a little X. On the Mac, you have a red button. But because everybody's got the same one, I'm going to click where it says exit, and we will leave the Hangout. So now we're back to where we started. We're right inside Google+. I happen to be on my profile page, and that was it. Fun with learning how to hang out.